Tonight's episode of Galea Kills Everything has been paid for in part by a consideration from the Dancing Taco Association. So, welcome to another exciting episode of Galea Kills Everything. Now we're here in good old Infernal Kahndaq to fight the demon Pride. Pride is an interesting one. One of the seven deadly sins, one of the children of Trigon, it's really kind of ambiguously represented. Pride has a lot of different faces in the DC universe. Pride is represented as Raven from the standpoint of its association with Trigon, but from its association with Shazam, it is that big-ass demon thing. We're going to call it her because it does have a vaguely feminine voice hiding underneath all of that layers of distortion and compression. Also, I'm not going to worry too much about it because, I don't think that thing's interested in pronouns. I think that thing's interested in eviscerating people. So let's talk about it. Pride's number one thing that you can notice here, Pride fights with the staff. Now, staff is one of those double-edged situations. Staff is awesome from the standpoint of its openings for counterability. Staff is not awesome from the standpoint of how much damage it can do to you while you're trying to counter it. There are two schools of thought here. Running a heavy mitigation character like a tank, for example, get right in there and play that counter game. Plenty of openings for it. The big stab, four-spin hit combo. You can block that, knock her on her ass, farm that immunity, run that all day long. If you're not playing a tank, do what I just did and switch to dual wield. Shoot her from a distance or hit her with special attacks. Now, Pride does have a number of different ability attacks here. You can see one of them activated over there right now, the giant vortex. The tornado is terrible. It is bad for your health. If you get too close to it, it will pull you in and continue hitting you. And it's just awful all the way around. Pride also has Merc's dash. And normally I hate dash attack when it's on a bounty, simply from the standpoint that it seems to be unfairly used or unfairly overrepresented inside of that bounty's structural makeup. Like Merc, for example, all iterations of Merc as a bounty use that thing way too much. Mammoth uses it way too much. It's a very overpowered attack. It needs to be used sparingly. Developers, if you ever hear this, I am talking directly to you right now. But in this case, Pride is going to dash around the arena. That dash attack will knock you out of the way. It'll interrupt whatever you're doing right now. And it does a crap load of damage. Pride can chain it, but does not tend to chain it quite as frequently as Merc and Mammoth do. That's basically the only saving grace in that situation. It's not a true one-shot, but it can get you killed very quickly. So stay the hell out of the way and make sure you keep your mitigation up and running while Pride is running around like a maniac like that. Pride's other major attack, aside from the tornado and the dash, you're going to notice all of those little sentinel guys. Pride will summon those on occasion to come into the area proper. This is kind of a double-edged sword, actually. There's an advantage and a bonus to those, and we'll come back to that a little closer to the end of the video just to let you know what your options are. But ads, obviously, kill ads. Very simple, very straightforward. You'll notice one other big Pride attack. You'll see the giant circle of energy appear on the ground after Pride does that pose there. That telegraphs an area attack that will take place in that area. It's not unlike the... I think the best and closest parallel is probably going to be Giganta's move from the doomed DC area. Giganta has a thing where there will be a telegraphed area on the ground. If you're still in that area when the move goes off, you take damage. It hurts. It's also very similar to the attack that the Raven bounty uses in the original Chaos Gotham, way back when, the original Trigon stuff. So, very, very bad for your health. You don't want to be standing there, but very, very easy to avoid is the other part of that conversation. The big three things to bear in mind with Pride. A, stay mobile or you will die. Rule number one applies here. You can't just post up and just do a bunch of damage. You're going to have to move. Unless your mitigation method is making Pride forget that you exist, you're going to have to move constantly. And if it is, you're still going to have to move when the AoE attacks and things like that happen. B, the AoE attack, you got to stay the hell away from it because Pride likes chaining that with the dash, and that's the secret to ending up dead really, really, really quickly. As you can see, Pride can also summon multiple tornadoes at the same time, which vastly cuts down the amount of real estate that you have here on the floor while you're making this fight happen. Now, there is a saving grace to all this. If you've taken a look at this, you're just like, nah, fuck that. Yeah, Pride also has a pull. Sorry, I missed that one. Pride has a pull, everybody. Good job. It's a single target pull, thankfully. That's one of the nicest parts about it, but that's the only nice part about it because that does mean that Pride can pull you directly into a tornado, that can pull you into an area where you're getting hit by the sentinels. There's all sorts of bad things that can happen when the boss has a pull, so be mindful of that. But, yeah. So these sentinels, these guys that are currently getting shot in the face, these guys actually count towards the progress of the bounty itself. So if you get involved with Pride, there's no one else around to help you out, or you're just not feeling like soloing it today, or for whatever reason, you can walk around the side of the area, pick those little guys off, and still complete the bounty without actually having to fight Pride herself. It's a saving grace. It's a very, very thin layer of silver around that cloud. Insofar as Pride's effectiveness as a bounty, I gotta be honest, Pride is not heavyweight territory. Pride is not a mid-card fight either. This is a hard bounty. This will make you work for it. You're gonna need mitigation. You can't come in here with a day one character and do this. You're gonna need a couple of artifacts at least to kind of round out some things, like, you know, the Mystic Symbol of 7, for example, Clarion, I'm using that. Those are both very handy here. I've got Lernier's Amulet on for finisher healing and additional might-based damage from my stealth attacks. All of these things add up to a successful run, but you're not going to be able to come in here with just a fresh, hey, I've got my level 15 fire tank here. I don't know the mechanics. I'm going to fight my Pride. No, you're not. Not by yourself, anyway. So, as for other things, counterfeit is associated with it. Beat up Pride multiple times, get beats, get skill points. Pride also has the standard 8-mark bounty, and finally, Pride does give you a large chest when she dies. Thank you for watching this episode. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and y'all have a lovely night.